Hello, hello, my green skins. No, we have not died, just things got busy. And hey, Dark,
Hi.
beep beep.
Beep beep.
So, have you ever wanted to see a Looney Tunes cartoon
Yep.
made into real life? Gene Wilder. Have you ever wanted to see a good action romp and one
Yep.
of the most racist moments in movie history? The only person that would like it is the Prime Minister of Canada, Gene Wilder. Have you ever wanted to see a cartoon made in real life? Gene Wilder. Wow, the man, the myth, the legend. This guy is amazing and worked with some of the greatest actors and greatest comedians of all time. Like Richard Pryor is funny as fuck. If anyone's ever seen Richard Pryor stand up, he's really good.
Except in
This
Superman.
was No, I liked him in Superman. He's annoying in Superman, but he's also like I think he was high as a fucking. That's when he was really into the drugs in Superman 3. You know what you gotta say about that whole thing with Superman 3. It as much as Pryor, he was given a really shitty role, and he still acted his heart out.
He certainly tries.
So he certainly tries. But today we're going to be talking about Gene Wilder and Pryor's "Hear No Evil, See No Evil." And this is actually everyone watched kind of saw Gene Wilder in the whole Blazing Saddles. This was the movie I saw Gene Wilder in. The very first movie I ever saw was this movie. So this movie has a little special heart moment in my heart for me. So, what did you think about Gene Wilder and Hear No Evil, See No Evil?
Um, the film itself, I laughed. It was good.
You laughed.
I'm actually
It's really
surprised.
good.
I mean, it's not great. I mean, I did read that the reviews at the time it came out were like really negative, and I'm like, really? People, and I mean like the hate. Well, from what I understood, like critics hated the movie. Like it's like they just
Yeah,
it pissed
but
them off. Like,
critics
really?
but critics always have a bug up their ass when it comes to comedies, especially this was a dark comedy. Like this is like over sexualized. This is a very dark comedy, and I would honestly say most people if they have never seen this movie are gonna like at first it's pretty dark. Let's set the story for this. Gene Wilder plays a man who ends up becoming deaf due to having an illness, and
I don't know
he
about
ends
that. I
up
mean,
it was an illness.
their past lives before their ailments were doesn't really factor into the main story.
No, it doesn't really factor into the story, but you do explain the reasons why these guys are deaf and why
Well,
Richard Pryor,
one guy is
yeah, one
deaf, the
guy's
other guy
deaf,
is blind.
the other guy's blind. So Gene Wilder's deaf, Richard Pryor is, blind. And you get to watch their antics when they get caught up in a murder story.
Oh yeah,
And it's a great murder story. It's actually very fun, and it's kind of amusing because Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor like they don't want people to feel sorry for them. Like they weren't they don't want to Richard Pryor does he's just dealing with the fact that he's become blind after it's actually quite recent the way he explains it,
they just want to live their
and
lives.
they just want to live their lives and they want to do the best they can. Gene Wilder was an actor back in the day, and they just want to be who they are. And it's funny as fuck because they get thrown in this weird story, and it's just kind of like just everyone's after this deaf and blind man who somehow escaped everyone or somehow able to get away with it.
They basically are
And
witnesses to a murder, and they're being chased by the people who were behind it to, so as to get make sure there are no loose ends.
well, and the police that want to just arrest him and throw him in jail because of a certain reason, because there's apparently reasonable doubt. Like,
The token angry police chief. You know, it's got one of those in there.
oh no, police detective. It's police detective. He's not a police chief. Um, it's that's how much I've seen this movie. I've seen this movie multiple times. There are moments and sight gags in this movie that are fucking hysterical. Like, I showed this to multiple friends, and they can't help but, like, even when they say they don't like it, they kind of ha 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 ha. You get a little giggle,
I
and
would say
so
it's a good movie, but it's a flawed movie from my
it,
point of view.
well, it's
And
a dark movie. You want to see flawed movie? Watch Silver Streak, which we might watch Silver Streak, because Silver Streak was also an amazing Gene Wilder movie. I actually am one of those guys who likes his later work than his earlier work. I know a lot of people like his earlier stuff, especially Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein. But I enjoyed him in his later work when he did comedies with Richard Pryor and a couple other movies. Like, he's always one of those guys I like. So let's break her down, if you're willing and welcome to break him down.
okay,
So
yeah.
go ahead. All right. So
Just
the music. What did you think of the music? I cut you off.
sorry. Well, music, nothing special. It's a comedy, so you don't expect music to be at the forefront of great,
it,
the best. You don't expect the
it
best works in a comedy, music wise.
it's not bad, but it is pretty much thematic. It's
Generic.
not really. Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't really go
thematic.
anywhere. Yeah,
It doesn't have an
yeah,
identity, So that's
yeah,
more like action movies from that time had the identity with music, but comedies,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, like, I actually, if you play the Total Recall music, I can almost instantly, holy shit, that's Total Recall. I almost instantly know what it is. Then we break her down to the story. Well, we've kind of gone into the story, but what did you think of the story as a whole?
Well, it's very simplistic. It's not about the story. It's about the jokes, and I think
It's
it's
about.
funny. But there are
Mhm.
some jokes that missed, and I get that it's a comedy about a blind man and a deaf man, so slapstick is inevitable.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
slapstick is not always my thing, and it's like sometimes they overdid it here and there, but it its lower points were overshadowed. I'm not overshadowed. Were sandwiched by multiple good points, so I let it
Yeah.
slide.
So, to me, the storyline is just, yeah, you are right. It is getting to the point. But the biggest point was the acting, and the acting in the comedy.
Oh
The
yeah, the
acting
acting.
in this is amazing.
No, these
Like,
actors
Richard
take it
Pryor,
seriously. These aren't idiots
they
like
do.
Adam Sandler who overact or act like idiots. These are people. They're not
Yeah,
acting like goofballs. They're acting like real people. But that's what makes the
like,
comedy even funnier because something strange is happening in a relatively um what's the word I'm looking for,
yeah,
identifiable and identifiable setting. You know,
yeah. And that's the thing about this. Richard Pryor and
relatable.
Gene Wilder, yeah, they both worked their ass off on this one. This one's one of those ones where you're like, holy shit, they hit it out of the park with their comedy, their using this. Like, they really do. Like, both of those guys act their fucking hearts out. Everyone acts
Yeah.
their hearts out.
What I love about this movie, this is gonna like go back to the writing, but the acting like complements it as well. They're they gave them more trace than simply being deaf and blind. Richard Pryor's character is obviously he's emotional. He's quick to anger. He's easily offended. He's a bit insecure. The other guy is a bit of the opposite. He's not insecure, but he's more calm. He's more rational. So they didn't just their ailments are not the character, and I appreciate it for that.
Yeah, it's funny. I think about this, that there are comedies. I haven't seen a good comedy in a while where I've just laughed and laughed and laughed. And this movie makes me laugh and laugh and laugh almost all the way through. And it's sad. Gene Wilder is an amazing, in this. Richard Pryor's really good, and the supporting cast is also really good. I don't
Yes.
get why it's. Go
Don't get
ahead.
me started on Joanne Severance. Is that her name?
Hmm. Yeah, I
Yes.
know.
Everyone from that time knows who she is.
Oh yeah, we all knew who she was.
We rented all of her
Those,
movies.
yes, we did. That's not the reason to watch this movie, but that's an extra cherry on that ice cream.
Hell,
Um,
Cherry.
hell yeah, yeah. uh, Overall, this is a great movie. I really, like I said, everyone talks about Blazing Saddles, which he didn't really do much. He didn't do anything in Blazing Saddles. If you
I have
actually
not
think
seen
about it, he does
Blazing
very
Saddles.
little. It's okay. Um, Young Frankenstein, which again, he did more in Young Frankenstein, but he's way better in these other later movies. I think he's better in these later movies. I'm sorry. I've always will love this. Like this movie and Silver Streak are two of my favorite Gene Wilder movies. And not excluding Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And I think people need to enjoy Gene Wilder's work. He was a great actor, and I think he was the last echoes of the Charlie Chaplin era of acting. Like I can't think of anybody else really at that era. Like we at that point we start seeing the drop of that. Like Stripes had you know that's pretty much the ending era of the hardcore slapsticks because I liked Stripes. Stripes was amazing. I liked Bill Murray and Stripes is good. Groundhog Day is really fucking. It's a solid movie, but it's not as slapsticky as the other ones. But like I said, this type of comedy just kind of disappeared now. Now comedy's treated like kid shit, and
Yeah,
it's
it is.
fucking annoying.
Like
It is. It is now.
they just think of a shtick for the main character, and that's it. They just play on that one thing throughout the whole
Yeah.
movie. And I
Yeah.
mean, I Adam Sandler's like the biggest sinner of this flaw. And I
Well,
think about
doesn't
yeah.
that piss you off a little bit if you think about it? Like really think about it.
Oh,
You
what's that?
got
What's that movie called? The one oh yeah, Jack and Jill. What's the point of that movie? Oh look, it's Adam Sandler in drag. Like that's the movie. Like literally, that's
uh,
it.
yeah.
Or what's that other one called? I
Mm.
forget, but doesn't
Uh,
matter. But the
uh,
point
uh,
is, they all have
uh,
that shtick.
that's the funny thing about this movie. This movie seems like a comedy for adults, where anything Adam Sandler does, even if it's like the most sexual thing, like it feels like it's a comedy for a fucking little kids.
For
Like
teenagers who think they're grown up. Oh
yeah,
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 booby joke.
like that's all I keep thinking. Look at he's a girl now. He's wearing a fat suit.
Or what's that? Oh
Like
yeah,
fuck.
that's the other movie I remembered. Eight Crazy Nights. Oh the whole joke, the whole movie's that one joke of Adam Sandler doing these two voices.
Yeah, I fucking.
And the girl. Seriously?
Oh no, no! You know what? Eight Crazy Nights had amazing animation, but it was a crappy fucking movie. Um, no, it just I hate Adam Sandler for some like the funny thing is he can fucking act, but it's like every movie. Like I can't stand Little Nicky. I can't stand your what was that other one? Billy Madison, all these other ones. I just don't like them. Like and that's the thing. Now it's complete kid things. Like what's happening now for what's the newest comedy I saw recently? It was a movie about a bunch of wrestlers caring for a bunch of firemen caring for little kids. I don't give a fuck
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
with John Cena.
Yeah, like John, you could do better work, my friend. I know you don't mind hanging around the kiddies, but Jesus fuck, man, I didn't mean it that way. Uh, you're better than that, man. You're a good actor. You can still be a good action actor, action hero. Ugh, I don't know. Fuck it. So, what do you want to rate this amazing comedy compared to what's coming out now?
Compared to now, this movie's a masterpiece.
Oh, this movie's a 10 all the way. But back, you know what? As a whole, I would say I'm giving this a 7. Like,
Yeah,
actually, you know, I'll give, yeah, about 7.
I'll give it a 7.5.
7.5. Yeah, 7.5. I think that's fair.
I mean, it has its low points, but again, you can when it gets to the good points, it's good. And I don't know the history. This movie came out in '89, and
Mhm.
I think isn't that when Uncle Buck came out, or maybe it had better
Yeah,
competition.
this is the golden age. This is right around the golden age. It just sees that this is when you had Uncle Buck, you had a bunch of other movies were slowly coming out, and they're really fucking good movies. Like I think we had like it's like nowadays it's like the 80s and the 90s had amazing comedies, and then right around the 2000s when it just went.
Okay, so I'm looking at the list of movies that came out that year, and maybe it looks like it
Yeah,
did have some competition. There was
what was it?
oh, I don't know why Back to the Future is listed as a comedy. I mean, it's got funny moments, but I wouldn't call it a comedy. Tango and Cash, UHF, um, Weekend Bernie's, Lethal Weapon 2, apparently. Um,
Weekend at Bernie's was really good. Like, actually, you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna have to watch Weekend at Bernie's eventually. I might have to pick those two movies up because the second movie's awful, but it's cheesy awful. You know what? I'm gonna have to watch some Weekend at Bernie's. I might grab that again. I have it
so,
on VHS. So
so what
there's some
else was
good.
there? K9 with
Yeah,
James Belushi.
I
And
wasn't good, but anyway.
Look Who's Talking.
Eh.
Um, oh, that's wait. Uh, Who's Harry Crumb with John Candy?
Mhm.
Yeah, it looks like it did have competition.
No, there's always competition back in the 80s and the 90s, man.
Yeah, but it says
Some of
something
the
when you've got when the least liked something is still good by today's standards, whereas now or in the past 2 decades, everything the worst is crap and the best is meh at best.
Oh, isn't it funny that I could call Weekend at Bernie's great movie now? Like it's fucking hysterical. In my mind, I used to remember people saying, you know, when you'd say, "Oh, you like Weekend at Bernie's? Oh, you like that garbage?" I'm like, now I go, Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah, that's a great movie. You suck now, Hollywood. Make better movies.
Well, to quote the critic, if you stop going to bad movies, they'll stop making bad movies.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
But you know what it's like. Everyone's gonna complain over
yeah,
a new IP
I
being
know.
butchered in every way, and they're still gonna go watch it to be like, oh, I need to
I
watch it
know.
because I have to watch it. And no, you don't. Just don't watch crap. If you know it's
No,
crap, don't
no.
watch it.
Look. We don't look. No one. Every idiot that sat in front of the water. You know, like you know, my friend used to call it water. What was that called there? Water tanker or water container talk, where you're sitting at the watering hole talking to you like, "Hey Jim, what did you watch today? Oh, I watched the new Lord of the Rings. Oh, you watched the new Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power? Yeah, how was it? It was absolute fucking garbage. Yeah, I thought it was garbage too. Well, I'll talk to you later." 2 days later, hey, did you watch the next episode of Rings of Power? Yeah, I did. Did it suck too? Yeah, I really hated it as well. Then they guys, stop watching shit. If it's shit, it's shit.
Yeah.
Come come back with me. Come back and watch the amazing things. You know, like Angry Video Game Nerd says, take a trip to the past, play games that shitty suck ass. Well, I'm taking a trip to the past too, and I'm doing all the good stuff. All right, he wants to play in the shit pile. He can play in the shit pile. I'm gonna watch awesome movies. Come watch awesome movies with me. Watch, hear no evil, see no evil. You'll laugh your ass off and have a good day. That's my thought. That's my 2 cents. So we got
Oh,
some more videos coming up.
oh yeah.
Okay.
Just a reminder to just to add on. Uncle Buck came out that same year too. So yeah,
Yeah. Great stuff, right?
great
And
stuff.
so we're going to be doing some more videos coming up, hopefully. next week or two, and then we want to do something big, but it's just trying to get this fucker done because it's what one season, one's 12 episodes, the other one's 24 episodes. So this is going to be a bitch and a half to do, and we're going to talk. Me and him are going to talk about that in private and see if we can finally get this off the fucking ground and finally have it done. Alrighty, guys, you have yourselves a very good one, and remember to quote the great Red Green: "Keep your stick on the ice."